Do you think winning a big lottery jackpot makes all your troubles vanish? Well, you're wrong. Just as wrong as the 70% of other lottery winners who thought the same but ended up with empty pockets. In other words, there's a 1/3 chance you'll go broke after winning the lottery. But don't worry, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank has some shocking advice that could be just what you need to keep a lasting fortune. So if you're dreaming of those millions, you won't want to miss what Kevin has to say. Number 8. Lump sum or an annuity. In October, the Powerball jackpot climbed to a massive $1.76 billion. Hitting that big jackpot catapults you into an elite club of instant millionaires. But it can drag you down just as quickly. The trick here is deciding how to receive your winnings. You've got two options, a lump sum or an annuity. Let's do the math and see what each option really means. When you choose the lump sum, you take a smaller portion of the total jackpot right away. For example, in the case of the $1.76 billion jackpot, the lump sum option would have given you around $774.1 million. The catch here is that you lose 24% of your winnings to federal taxes. As a result, your take-home is significantly less. However, these numbers were right just for the October Powerball that pulled the second largest jackpot in history. The actual amount you get in hand depends on the total jackpot size and current tax laws. So, yes, the lump sum option has its pros and cons, and then we have the annuity option. This one spreads out your winnings over 30 years. You receive a portion of the jackpot annually, which gradually increases over time. This option makes sure you receive a steady income stream for decades, but it doesn't give you the immediate access to the full amount. So what should a lucky winner do? Opt for less but quick money or more but slow money? This is where we asked Kevin O'Leary for help. He's the financial guru from Shark Tank, and he has clear advice for all the lottery winners out there. His words were, take the lump sum, but don't spend it. Do you see why he suggested the first option even though it pays you less? Well, if you think about it, you get more money right now. You can invest it wisely. It has the potential to grow significantly over time, potentially outpacing the total you would receive from the annuity. We have a real-life example to prove it to you. Brad Duke won a $220 million lottery in 2005. However, he didn't go on a spending spree. Instead, he invested his winnings and focused on wealth growth. By making smart financial decisions, Duke not only maintained his fortune, but also grew it. Today, he's not just a millionaire, he's a billionaire. And that's what you can be, only if you make the right choices. But what are the right choices? Well, Kevin also shared something about that. Number 7. Pay attention to your budget. Once you've won a hefty lottery jackpot, it's natural to think that the sky's the limit with your newfound wealth. But let us tell you what Kevin O'Leary says about this. His next advice to lottery winners is to keep a close eye on your spending and make a budget. According to O'Leary, the biggest pitfall for lottery winners is the sudden shift in their spending habits. It's not an unusual thing. We've seen many lottery winners flushed with cash who started splurging without a second thought. This reckless spending led to a shocking outcome: bankruptcy. The internet is full of stories of these lottery winners who hit rock bottom financially within 3 to 5 years, no matter how big of a jackpot they won. You see, it's surprisingly easy to burn through hundreds of millions if you're not careful. Even with a bank account that seems bottomless, unchecked spending can deplete it rapidly. So what's Kevin's advice on this? Expect some changes in your lifestyle, sure, but don't let go of financial prudence. Transition into your new life gradually, and most importantly, continue to keep track of your budget. But it doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself. You'll be unable to do that with so much cash on hand. All you have to do is make a budget first, so that you first make sure you don't splurge. And it's not just Kevin who thinks so. There's one other entrepreneurial star who shared a similar piece of advice. Number 6. Open a savings account. First, let's hear it from Barbara Corcoran. She's a self-made millionaire and a star on Shark Tank who definitely knows a thing or two about smart money moves because she has a net worth of $100 million. Her advice for lottery winners is pretty straightforward but super effective. She says that you should start with opening a high-yield savings account. Now, you might think, a savings account? Really? Who wouldn't have thought of that? But focus on Barbara's words. A high-yield savings account isn't your typical account. It offers much higher interest rates, meaning the money you stash there grows faster than it would in a regular account. You have to find a reputable bank that offers high interest rates. That's how you'll get some extra mileage out of your winnings. But why stop there? Barbara suggests that lottery winners shouldn't just park their money. She thinks they should be actively looking for ways to grow it. She gave advice for it too: passive income. This involves real estate that generates rental income or dividend-paying stocks. These investments can keep adding to your wealth without you having to lift a finger. The beauty of this approach is its focus on long-term financial security. You'll build a solid financial foundation that will last. By diversifying your investments between safe options like high-yield savings and other income-generating assets, you'll set yourself up for continuous growth. When it comes to splitting your lottery winnings between savings and investments, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But you need to have a smart approach. A good rule of thumb is to put around 20% to 30% of your winnings into a high-yield savings account. The percentage you direct towards investments depends on you, but make sure at least 15% of your winnings are going towards investments like stocks, bonds, real estate, or other income-generating ventures. Now, before we share other golden tips from Kevin O'Leary, let's hear something first from this other Kevin. Number 5. Remain anonymous. Kevin Harrington is another big name from Shark Tank who has a net worth of $400 million. He shared some valuable advice for lottery winners that they should remain anonymous if they can. Why stay anonymous? Well, when you win big, suddenly everyone knows your name. Old friends, distant relatives, charities, and yes, even scammers might come knocking. Keeping your identity hidden and anonymous will help you avoid this unwanted attention and the potential stress or danger it brings. But how do you stay anonymous after winning the lottery? Well, it depends on where you live. Not all states allow lottery winners to keep their names secret. In the U.S., states like Maryland, Ohio, Kansas, Delaware, North Dakota, and South Carolina, among others, let winners stay anonymous. Other states might require you to go public, but there are workarounds. Some winners set up a trust or an LLC to claim the prize, keeping their names out of the spotlight. Now, you have to stay anonymous not just to avoid a flood of friend requests or dodgy investment pitches. It'll also help you keep secure and give you peace of mind. Imagine trying to live a normal life when everyone knows you're sitting on a pile of cash. It's not just uncomfortable, it can be downright risky. Harrington's advice also speaks to the mental and emotional aspects of winning big. Anonymity can give you the space and tranquility to adjust to your new life and make smart, unhurried decisions about your future. You'll have the space to take control of your story and how it moves forward. If you're in a state where anonymity isn't an option, consider other strategies to protect your privacy. This might mean changing phone numbers, carefully managing social media, or even moving to a new location. The key is to create a buffer between your public win and your private life. Remember, the goal here is to enjoy your winnings and live a fulfilling life, free from the pressures and risks that can come with sudden fame. By staying anonymous, or at least as private as possible, you'll be taking a critical step to safeguard your fortune and your overall well-being. And while you're doing that, you need one big tool by your side. Now, what's that? Well, Kevin shared some tidbits about it too. Number 4. Build a trustworthy team. When you hit the lottery jackpot, Kevin Harrington suggests hiring a trustworthy team ASAP. First up, an attorney. Winning big means dealing with legal complexities you probably never thought about. An attorney will help you protect your assets, advice on legal matters related to your winnings, and ensure you're covered on all fronts. They'll also set up trusts or companies if you want to remain anonymous. Then you'll need a tax advisor. Let's face it, Taxes on lottery winnings can be a labyrinth, and the last thing you want is the IRS knocking on your door for a missed payment. A tax advisor will help make sure you're not paying more than you need to. They'll be your go-to person for making sense of those complex tax laws. And don't forget a financial advisor. They're like your personal financial planners. They can help you invest wisely, plan for the future, and multiply your newfound wealth. A good financial advisor will tailor their advice to your goals, whether it's a secure and comfortable retirement, setting up college funds, or buying your dream home. So why can't you skip all this and just wing it? Well, think about it. Without an attorney, you could end up in legal hot water. Without a tax advisor, you might find yourself owing a scary amount of back taxes. And without a financial advisor, your chances of making smart investment decisions drop significantly. Imagine trying to make big decisions like setting up college funds or investing in real estate without expert advice. It's pretty risky. And what about all those requests for money you'll likely get from friends and family? A solid team can help you handle those too. Not having these pros on your side could mean making some major missteps. So when you win big, remember to get the right people to help you handle it. While this advice is great for the long haul, Kevin O'Leary shared something else that would need your immediate attention. Number 3. Pay off debt. The next piece of advice by Kevin is to pay off debt, because there's never an incentive to stay in debt. Now, that might sound like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how many jackpot winners miss this step in the thrill of their new millionaire status. So why should paying off debt be numero uno on your to-do list? Well, first of all, this gets all the creditors off your back, which helps you save your heaps of money because, now think about it, every dollar you owe adds up interest. So by wiping out your debt, you'll stop the bleeding and save your money. The next reason why this step is important is because you have to make your money work for you, and you can only do that when you have no money owed to anybody, and all your money is centered around profiting you. It's like unclogging a pipe. Once the blockage, which is the debt, is gone, the water, that's your cash, flows freely. You're suddenly in a position to invest, save, and yes, even spend more efficiently. Now, let's tackle a common myth. Some people believe that they've got millions, so a little debt doesn't matter. Well, wrong. Debt nibbles away at your winnings so slowly that you won't even notice. But what if you run out of luck? Only then will you see a big pile of cash you have to pay to clear your debts. So why not do it as early on as you can? Why wait for bad luck to strike? And did you know that interest rates on debts are often higher than what you earn on savings or investments? So technically, by paying off a debt with a 10% interest rate, you'll be making a better investment than most stock market ventures. This would be like your reverse investing. You'll be guaranteeing yourself a return by eliminating future expenses. And let's not forget about the freedom factor. Debt-free living means choices, opportunities, and dare we say, a little swagger in your financial step. You'll be able to take control of your fortune and steer it in the direction you want, not where your debts dictate. So when the lottery win lands in your lap, channel your inner Kevin O'Leary. Look those debts in the eye, say goodbye, and pay them off. And then watch as your financial landscape transforms. Now, about that last step. You've taken a lump sum, you've set a budget, you've paid your debt. How do you make your money work for you now? Well, Kevin O'Leary has some advice for you here as well. Number 2. Invest in stocks. The next piece of advice by Kevin O'Leary is about how to turn that lottery win into even bigger bucks, or how to go from a millionaire to a billionaire. His advice is to put your money in low volatility, dividend-paying stocks. It sounds a bit jargony, but it's actually pretty simple. Low volatility stocks are low-risk investments in the stock market. They don't have wild price swings, so you won't see your investment skyrocket one day and plummet the next. And then there are dividends. Some stocks pay you just for owning them. These are dividend-paying stocks. Every so often, they'll give you a bit of their earnings. It's like getting a regular paycheck just for holding on to these stocks. And who doesn't like that kind of extra cash coming in regularly, right? Where should you put your money then? Big, well-known companies are usually a good bet. For example, some heavy hitters like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, the kinds that have been around for ages and aren't going anywhere anytime soon. They're known for being consistent and giving out those dividends we talked about. But then again, you have to remember the old advice too. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to mix it up. Along with those reliable stocks, you should sprinkle in some bonds, real estate investments, and maybe even take a chance on some more exciting up-and-coming companies. All you need to do is to find a balance between risky and non-risky. You don't want too many risky investments that might drown you, and you don't want just the non-risky investments that won't get you far. Find the right balance. Now, it's not just Kevin who shared his golden tips. Other entrepreneurial stars had some killer advice too for lottery winners, and we've gathered it all up for you. Now, the next advice might not be money related, but it's just as important for lottery winners. Number 1. Say no to your friends and family. Remember Kevin Harrington's advice to stay anonymous after a lottery win? In case you can't follow that advice, you can always follow the wise words of Mark Cuban. He advises the lottery winners to learn to say no to their friends and family. It sounds tough, but it's important for maintaining your financial sanity. You see, when word gets out that you've won the lottery, you'll likely be swamped with requests for money. Everyone from your second cousin to your old high school buddy might come with a handout. Saying yes to everyone can quickly drain your winnings. Only saying no will protect your bank account. You have a unique opportunity to change your life, and indiscriminate spending or lending can jeopardize that. So you have to set boundaries and stick to them. Now, let's talk about investments. Once you've won big, you might be tempted to throw money at every investment opportunity that comes your way. But here's where saying no becomes important again. Not every investment is a good one, and some can be downright risky. So you have to assess each opportunity critically. Before saying yes to any investment, consult your financial advisor. They can help you differentiate between a sound investment and a potential money pit. Your advisor will consider factors like the risk involved, the potential return, and how each investment fits into your overall financial plan. And this is not just about investments. Follow this approach for your other business ventures and even seemingly small purchases. It's easy to let spending spiral out of control when you have a large sum, so you have to be cautious and thoughtful about every yes. And that's not all from Mark Cuban. He shared some exclusive tips for lottery winners, revealing the very first things you should do after winning. So if you want to know more, check out our next video.